today's meeting. Slovenia wishes to express its full support and appreciation for the work of UNSOM and UNSOS. Please also allow me to pay tribute to ATMI's troop contributing countries, Somali security forces and other partners for sacrifices they made in their fight against Al-Shabaab. Madam President, I would like to make 3 points. First, Slovenia commends Somalia for reaching several important milestones, including completing the heavily indebted Poor Countries Initiative and joining the East African Community. We encourage Somalia to continue with political, economic and security sector reforms, including on the crucial constitutional process. Somali-owned national dialogue with all federal member states and other relevant stakeholders is key. We welcome existing and future positive efforts of the federal government in this regard. We also stress the importance of respecting human rights and ensuring full, equal, meaningful, and safe participation of women at all levels of political and decision-making processes. Secondly, we would like to raise attention to the persistently dire humanitarian situation. With 5 consecutive failed rainy seasons, followed by recent catastrophic floods, Somalia bears the heaviest burden of the global climate emergency. We are concerned about the deeply food insecure communities who are still battling to recover from country's longest recorded drought and impacts of conflict. We call on gender-responsive humanitarian response, as women and children represent a majority of internally displaced people due to climate-related disasters and conflict. We encourage Somalia to continue with the climate adaptation efforts in line with their gender and conflict-sensitive National Adaptation Plan. Cooperation in the Horn of Africa, including in the framework of IGAD, is crucial in tackling climate and environmental challenges, such as and especially water resources management. And finally, Madam President, we welcome the ambitious security sector development plan presented by Somalia at the December Security Conference, including the need for a new multilateral support and assistance mission to replace ATMIS. We encourage Somalia to work closely with the African Union, European Union, other regional organizations, bilateral partners, and members of the Security Council in devising a sustainable proposal for a new mission with a clearly defined mandate, scope, size, duration, and funding. Fight against Al-Shabaab is far from over and must remain on top of the agenda of international community for the foreseeable future, both in terms of security response and through addressing root causes. We are concerned that recent tensions between Somalia and Ethiopia could undermine recent gains in this endeavor and bolster recruitment efforts by Al-Shabaab. We reiterate our support for territorial integrity and sovereignty of Somalia, and we call on both countries to exercise restraint and engage in meaningful dialogue to find a peaceful resolution on mutually acceptable terms. To conclude, Madam President, Slovenia remains optimistic that Somalia will be able to keep the positive momentum and solid progress as reported by the SRSG, and that during this year of transition, including during this year in transition, Slovenia, as member of the Security Council, commits to continue supporting Somalia on its path. Thank you.